What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Derby Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. It was about a week and a half ago when the Star Wars Outlaws story trailer dropped over on the Ubisoft page over on YouTube, and it got panned by audiences. This is a very brutal ratio that's going on right now, and I don't blame it. When it actually came to the story all around, it looked bland, it looked boring, it looked like just another Ubisoft game, and it was not very interesting to take a look at whatsoever. You even had the same thing going on over on the actual Star Wars account itself, having another ratio going on for the exact same game in the exact same story trailer. No, it's not as bad as the Ubisoft one, but this is still bad. Audiences around aren't excited for this at all. Audiences want no real parts in this game, and it's not really a shocker, especially when you take a look at some of the actions that have been going on. Ubisoft Star Wars accused of assassinating game's female protagonist and turning her into a chestless Karen, and it's kind of true. And when you take a look at this, this was actually a controversy that got started up, would have been months ago, about the end of March, but it ended up coming back again when the story trailer dropped. And you take one look at the actual model and then the actual character, it's night and day. You had a bunch of people talking about this all over the place. This is another example of AAA industry games basically attacking femininity, attacking beauty, and making a really attractive woman ugly for the sake of their more modern day progressive ideologies, where we can't have pretty things. We also had the Ubisoft response to the backlash for the Jabba the Hutt mission that was going on, and which, for those of you who aren't aware, people were taking a look at the actual prices of the games, taking a look at various parts of the game itself, and they started noticing over on the actual basically season pass, the basic edition, which, by the way, costs $109. You got a special mission in it, which was the exclusive Jabba's Gambit mission at launch. And if you read what it actually says, just as Kay is putting together a crew for the Canto Bite heist, she receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. Turns out that ND5 owes Jabba a debt from years ago, and he comes to collect. Now, when you actually see this, when you see, you know, the Jabba the Hutt missions, when you see this specific area of the Jabba the Hutt mission, you start going like, wait a minute, but I thought in the actual story trailer, there's an entire Jabba the Hutt moment, and yeah.
I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part.
See, there's an entire Jabba the Hutt moment within the actual story trailer, so people started thinking, oh my gosh, all of Jabba the Hutt must be locked behind a paywall. The entirety of Jabba the Hutt must be locked behind a paywall, but when you actually come over to what ended up happening, it was, no, not really. It does look like it is, don't get me wrong, even Ubisoft admits that it does, but then they end up coming out and say, to clarify, Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel are one of the main syndicates in Star Wars Outlaws and will be part of the experience for everyone who purchases the game regardless of edition. The Jabba's Gambit mission is an optional additional mission with a Hutt Cartel along Kay and Nix's journey across the Outer Rim. But when you actually see this, this is them basically saying that their game's way overpriced. There's no point in actually paying $109. There's no point in actually getting the season pass. And yeah, that mission's basically pointless. So this whole... there's been a lot of issues going on when it comes to actually Star Wars Outlaws. Well, just the other day, we ended up having an update to a lot of this from Ubisoft themselves. And you come over here, alleged internal Ubisoft document declares representation is part of our DNA, and it firmly stands for diversity and inclusion. Now, you might be wondering, how does this all connect together? How does this all connect together? Well, this actually comes from the quartering himself. Ubisoft has been melting down internally over criticism of their DEI efforts, quadruples down internally. And you actually read this. This is insane. First, we want to make it very clear that we do not accept hate, harassment, and other forms of abuse in any way, and we are deeply saddened to see the negativity and hatred currently spreading on our co-workers' personal profiles and our parents' social media platforms. We are proud to represent the diversity and inclusion that exists in society as part of our everyday work. Representation is a part of our DNA and will remain that way regardless of external pressure or influences. Now, when it comes to that, it starts to make you wonder, wait, where does this all come from? Oh, wait, Ubisoft. Ubisoft's in charge of Star Wars Outlaws. All this stuff kind of revolves around Star Wars Outlaws and their own ideas, because a lot of people have been taking a note within Star Wars Outlaws that the main character is blatantly just Han Solo, but a chick. So much so that when you actually take a look at the Star Wars Outlaws, that kind of looks like Han Solo's getup, but worn by young Freddie Mercury. Shout out again to Samuel Infamous for pointing out that she kind of looks like young Freddie Mercury. I just got to be honest. So you start getting that going around there. They're now standing against hate. They're standing on all of this because people were starting to point out, you know, this game's filled with diversity. This game's filled with all this stuff, and it doesn't make sense, but we keep going on. If you are exposed to or witness any negative behavior towards your colleagues online, do not hesitate to reach out to your manager, Arcade HR, or the communications team. We are here to help. Should a situation escalate to a point where you feel unsafe, please contact Ubisoft Security and Risk Management Team. SRM has a team of dedicated staff to manage security concerns. They will assess the severity of the situation and provide personalized guidance. As always, report immediately and severe personal safety concerns to your local emergency number. Now, I will say, don't threaten these guys. Don't go after these guys. That's pointless. But what's a safety concern to them? What's this negative stuff that they're talking about? What's all this stuff that they're saying? Is it you know, you come over here to this? Is it something like this? Face it, Ubisoft, you just need to be comfortable with people not buying your games anymore. Ubisoft told me to be comfortable not owning their games. I'm gonna be very comfortable not buying this. Honestly surprised this trailer didn't cost $14.99 to watch. Is that mean? Is that harassment? Is that bad? I don't know, but it keeps getting better. Given the current polarization of this topic online, we believe that having a respectful and constructive dialogue is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. In this context, we ask you to not engage in or interact with these conversations, as this could worsen the situation for yourself, our teams, and our industry peers. We can also set your accounts to private and or turn off private messages from people who are not in your list of trusted friends. Do this across all your social accounts, even if you are only receiving unwelcome messages on certain platforms. Interesting that they say this. Interesting that they say this, because for those of you who might not be aware of this came out again last week. Star Wars Outlaws lead writer, the Maven of Filth, Nikki Foy's social media protected and website password protected as story trailer gets huge negative reaction. Almost like, because of this internal document, because of everything that's going on with inside Ubisoft themselves, instead of actually addressing concerns, instead of actually going out and communicating with fans, communicating with customers, doing any of the actual work that is needed to, you know, fulfill your communities, fulfill your customers, make sure your customers are happy, and trying to discuss with them and maybe explain some things away. Instead of doing that, you guys lock everything down and say, screw the customers. They get what they get. Okay? They don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. They're going to get whatever they want to get. They're going to get whatever we want to give them. We're going to treat them the way they want to be treated. If they don't like the DEI, they don't like the diversity, they don't like Ma'am Solo, the little Freddie Mercury over here, that's on them. They're the bad guys. They're the bigots. They're the bad individuals. They don't like that we took a very attractive female and made her a dude. They're the bigots. They're the bad guys. Don't engage with them. Don't talk to them. Don't talk to the actual customers. Ignore them and just treat them like they're everyday filth on the streets. That's what they're saying here. That's what they're doing. That's why they're locking everything down, because they don't want to communicate with you. They don't want to be actually associated with you. They don't care about you one little bit. That's why they're doubling down on the DEI. That's why they're intentionally not telling you what is harassment, what is deemed nasty, what is deemed unsafe speech. They're intentionally not saying that because they want to categorize all the responses, all the criticisms that they get on any little game as unsafe and not good, and you should just not engage with the customers. If the customer is angry, if the customer is upset, don't engage with them. They don't care about you. They've never cared about you. The people that did care about you at one point, actually, they're long since gone. All you have now are people that want to paywall literally everything, charge you an arm and a leg just for a glass of water, and they sit there in their mighty high towers criticizing capitalism and how awful capitalism is, while again, it costs you $14.99 just to say hi to somebody or get a colorful little armor plate that does absolutely nothing. That's what these companies are. They'll drag the customer through the dirt. They will make them pay an arm and a leg for literally anything they want them to actually spend money on. Again, a glass of frickin' water. You'll have to pay $14.99 for that. They'll price you out. Then they'll say you don't actually own this game. And anytime you actually have any real criticism about this, whether it's them taking away your games, whether it's you having to pay $14.99 just for something, or better yet, actually when you take a look at like the pre-order stuff and how much these cost and the exorbitant amount of prices of everything, literally the season pass is basically the same as the actual base game. Maybe just a little bit less and you get less content, but you're still spending $40 for a season pass. When you're criticizing all this, they're going to shut you down. You're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to engage with it. Don't talk to the customers. Don't listen to their criticism. Don't listen to any of that. Shut it down, move on, treat them like the common dirt that they are. Unless they're praising us, then we'll engage with them. That's what these people are. They're vile individuals that view every customer as nothing more than a pay pig that just has to sit there and accept their slop. Screw off. I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Let me get your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.